So there's only one question remaining. In the race of the walkers, who's going to take first place and who's lagging behind? So our first runner-up is going to be Johnnie Walker Black Label. So may or may not be too much of a surprise that the most popular and best-selling of the Johnnie Walker range has come in last, for want of a better word. I think that Black Label, it just comes over a little bit young, a little bit simple. And I think over the years, the quality probably has gone down a little bit. Recent bottlings have just been a little bit too immature, not quite enough character. And at the current price point, it's just becoming a little bit difficult to recommend. Next on our list is Johnnie Walker Red Label. I actually gave Red Label the same grade as Black Label, but I'm putting it above Black Label on this list because it is at a significantly lower price point. It has to be said that the Red Label is simpler than the Black Label, but it's also in a way smoother and more balanced. It's really a very different product to Black Label and any of the other products in the Johnnie Walker range, in that I think you really have to regard it as a good grain whiskey, because that's really how it comes over. So I'd recommend Red Label to anyone that wants something sweet and simple that's a little bit of a change of scenery, or anyone that wants something to drink as a mixer, or perhaps with ice. It's just a shame that there are other products around that are of equal quality to Red Label for a slightly lower price. Next on the list we've got Johnnie Walker Blue Label, which I gave a C, and that's probably going to upset some people, and it upsets me a little bit because it has an absolutely phenomenal nose, but it just doesn't follow up that great nose with the palate and the finish, which are just badly underpowered. When you consider the price point of Blue Label, it really turns into more of a marketing stunt and a statement rather than a drink. Next on the list is Johnnie Walker Platinum or Johnnie Walker 18-year-old. And the Platinum label really suffers from some of the same problems as the Blue Label, in that it's just that little bit underpowered. So if you like your whiskies on the milder, gentler side, it might be worth looking at Johnnie Walker Platinum. But you also have to consider that the Platinum label is probably around twice the price it should be, and I think there are better things out there for your money. So next, working our way up the list, is Johnnie Walker Gold Label. And I think this is really where the range starts to get going. Gold Label is a really good whiskey. It's got depth, it's got power, but most of all, Gold Label has got character. But you do have to ask yourself, why is Johnnie Walker Gold Label a blend? Why could it not just be released as a single malt? Is it just to save some money, or does the blending actually add something? In my opinion, the Gold Label does come over somewhat as a Clynelish Light, and when you consider that Clynelish 14-year-old sells for about the same price at a higher ABV, you have to wonder why you would actually buy the Gold Label. So that leaves one whiskey on our list, and that whiskey that's taken the first place is Johnnie Walker Green Label. Like Gold Label, Green Label is a whiskey that has character, depth and power, but it's also a blend that knows how to be a blend. And by that I mean that every whiskey that goes into Green Label is identifiable, and every whiskey that goes into Green Label has its own role to play, which also adds something else to Green Label, and that's complexity. Because of all the complementary and contrasting flavours that you get from the whiskies that go into it, you really end up with something that would be incredibly hard to recreate as a single malt. It really justifies the existence of blended whiskey, in my opinion. It's probably also not a coincidence that Green Label is the only whiskey out of the Johnnie Walker core range that is bottled at 43%, and it's also the only blended malt in the range. So Green Label is not only the only whiskey of this range that I'm going to recommend, but it's also one that I'd highly recommend. If you've never had it before, or if you haven't had it for a long time, or if you're a beginner in the world of whiskey and you're looking for something new to try, I'd highly recommend that you track down a bottle.